Yeah, I want to actually do a YouTube channel and like have
we were born to love somebody. So I want to exchange someone to love as long as life blurs too. Nothing is as precious as love, and I don't care about status and fame. That's why I'm singing a love song free. The theme of my life, love called life.
'Yes, yes, here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of JP Vibes. I'm your host, Jaja. And today we have a special guest, the one and only Tender Armstrong. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's been a while. And thank you for inviting me to your show the other day.
Oh, yeah.
That was beautiful, man.
Always.
It's been a while I haven't seen you, on stage, and that was a wonderful performance. I was like there in my groove and thing,
I know. It's so nice having you guys.
Yeah, it was really nice. So, we're going to be talking about Tender's life, music, and lifestyle, and everything in between.
Yes.
You know, so stay tuned for that one. And so just you're an amazing person. You know, you're a singer-songwriter, musician, and a woman's activist, right?
Yes.
Fighting for women's rights. I love that spirit.
Thank you.
Yeah. So give us a little introduction about yourself, huh?
Okay, my name is Tender, and I'm Japanese and American half. I was born here and grew up in Southeast Asia, but my adult life's been in Japan. And I started singing about 20 years ago. I mostly do hotels and work-related stuff, but my passion is art. I love art, and about 5 years ago, I came across the International Women's Day events that they do all over the world. They've been celebrating that since 1908.
Wow,
And
that
Japan,
long.
that
I
long.
never know that.
And I found out, I never even heard of it, but my sister-in-law told me that they do that in Lithuania. So I looked it up online, and apparently like 100 and more countries celebrate it, and Japan's not one of them. And
But Japan never had International Women's.
they don't celebrate International Women's Day.
Oh, really?
And,
That's why you started it.
Yeah, I wanted to sort of kind of just bring it into people's consciousness.
Yes.
Just because women's rights are... Japan is quite low on the equality index when it comes to like the gender
I know.
equality thing. They are down like 114, you know?
Really?
Yeah, yes, every year. And it's not getting any higher.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that into people's awareness. I think if general population is aware of like equality issues and that kind of stuff, I think it'll, I don't know, maybe bring about some change.
Yeah.
I'm just a one little person. I don't know. I
But
know I
you're
can't do a lot.
you're doing a fabulous job with
But
that.
I want to
because-
do something. Otherwise, like, what's the point? You know.
But I do
so-
remember, like, that was 2017. You came here. You did a show about your
Yes.
upcoming event, International
Yes.
Women's Women's Day.
Yes.
Yeah, and you had a really nice show going on. You have a couple of guests there. You talked about women's issues
Oh
and
yes,
stuff.
yes,
You remember
yes.
that?
Yeah, that was what 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
2017.
That's right, yeah.
that was wonderful. And I really, you really touched my heart because of your passion with it.
Yeah.
And you had different artists. I think you had like 2 days in different
Yes.
spots, or 3 days.
3 days.
3
Yeah, it
days,
was a
right?
3-day event. Yeah.
And you arranged everything. You have some artists there, some other artists there, and that's a lot of work.
It was so much work.
Yeah, because
I wasn't planning to do that big, but it just kind of snowballed into this huge thing.
yeah.
I was crying. Like my sister-in-law really had to like keep me calm. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah?
"What have I done?" But it was
yeah.
so good, and everyone was so amazing, and I really appreciated you having like the talk show here. Like that was really big.
That
so
was
thank
really
you.
nice, and because just organizing just one show takes a
don't know
lot of
what I-
energy and time. You gotta put up to a lot of bullshit and stuff, But 3 shows going on simultaneously. Was it simultaneously?
Yeah, it was Friday, Saturday,
Fri-
Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. One after another, right?
Yeah.
And every day, that was kudos to that. My hat
Thank
goes
you.
up.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's get on to business, man.
Okay.
So you have Japanese,
Yes.
half American,
American, yes.
right? And you were born in Japan or in the States?
Yes, I was born here.
Oh, okay.
I've never lived in the States.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So all in Japan?
Yes.
Wow, I never know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My childhood was in Southeast Asia.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's something new.
My formidable years were here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you being, we say half Japanese,
Yes.
half, right?
Mixed race.
Mixed, right? I know you've gone through a lot of, hurdles,
Yes.
and so how were you able to get over those difficulties? Those like you have like you have racism there. You have like not treating you as their kind.
Right.
And you have the language barrier. And you have you're born here, so there's not much about the food, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, like, when I was a kid, we lived overseas. So I remember coming back to Japan, and my little brother, I think he was 3 years old at the time, and he's never lived here, right? We came back, and it was his first time to see an onigiri. So we like, He unwrapped
Onigiri
it.
is the rice. I call it the rice ball.
balls, yeah.
Rice balls.
And
Right?
he took the wrapping off, and then he took the seaweed off and threw it away. And we're like, no, you can eat that. He's like, no, it's paper. You can't eat that. Like,
yeah.
So we had that with my younger brothers and sisters. But
okay.
like, I already lived here, so I was,
Yeah, so you do.
Yeah.
Me too. I had a problem when I came here 20 years ago. You know, I didn't know how to peel the onigiri.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh man, you know, it's like so complex. It's like, how do you take this thing off? You know, and when you take everything, it's all you take out the weed and everything. You know, the seaweed and stuff. But anyway, so tell me, so how did you, from that age when you were young, you were born here, what kind of music influenced you at that early age? Because you were in Japan. If you were in the States, I can understand. Well, you have a lot of different genres, you know.
Yeah.
In Japan, you have enka, you have Japanese pops, J-pops, and you know, some Western music. So how?
My
was
dad
that?
was a DJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was DJing at this really popular club called, I think it was called Club Bamboo. It was really popular in Osaka back in the 70s.
I remember that name.
Yeah, like big artists
a
used to go,
long
like
time
Earth,
ago.
Wind and Fire, he would go, and like he met a lot of celebrities. And,
Yeah,
like, he was
Bamboo.
DJing there.
I've never been there because I just came to Japan. I was like, that name was popping out there.
Yeah.
So your father used to. Your
he
father
was
is,
DJ.
is okay. He's Japanese or
No, he's American.
American. Okay,
Yeah.
so he was DJing there.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
he had loads of records. So I grew up listening to like mostly Motown and like disco, that kind of
Wow,
music. So yeah,
R&B
I've got
stuff.
sort of a,
So that
I
was,
like that kind
yeah,
of music.
that
Real
flow,
groovy,
right?
yeah.
That's soulful, you
Soulful
know.
music.
Soulful, yeah.
But to be honest, I like all music now.
Okay,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I grew up listening to that, which really like stimulated my love for music and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But since then, I got introduced to so many different
Different,
styles,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I literally I don't have a favorite style. I like all music.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's
because
good,
your style
I like
right now,
it.
your style now is just universal. You play anything, you know,
Yeah.
you sing everything. So that's beautiful. So here in your father DJing, and you know that Motown music influenced your music taste, I would say. So did you one day pick up the guitar and say, let me start something, or you start singing somewhere? You went to the karaoke. How did the singing part start?
I don't remember very well, but my dad gave me a guitar when I was 7, or it was maybe his guitar. I don't remember, but either way, he taught me 3 chords. I was 7 years old, and he taught me 3 chords. I think it was G, A, and D. And that was it for me. Like, yeah.
But that's the basic you need to know, you know.
I just started writing songs. I don't even
Wow.
think my parents know. I did it in secret, like just in my, it was therapy. It was a way for me to just handle all the stresses. Because when you're a child, you don't
You're 7
understand
years old and you had stress at that time?
a lot of stress.
Really? Tell me some why? And I know the music was your therapy. You went there to write songs and release that stress.
Yeah.
But what was causing the stress?
A lot of things. I don't think
For
we have
example?
time to get into it now,
Just a
but
couple of them?
so my childhood is very not normal. You know, I didn't have a normal childhood. Like I traveled a lot with my parents. I'm not going to get into it right now,
Yeah.
but
don't crack up on me though.
there's too much. There's too much
I
there.
can see your voice started. you becoming too guys. Hey, hello.
But so my childhood was
Okay.
not easy,
Uh-huh.
and being half Japanese, and
yeah.
and then not being able to speak the language well, and being a girl, and all this stuff. And when you're a kid, and you're not aware, about mental health or about inequality or about this and that, you don't know how to process all that,
Yeah,
so it
that's
just
true.
gets really confusing and muddled in your mind.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember, just wanting to die as a child, and that's a horrible feeling to have. Yeah. So now that I'm aware of mental health problems, I know that I suffered from depression as a child, but the thing that this is why I'm so like into music and art.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
passionate about this is because I really believe that art is a fantastic way to handle mental health issues.
Yeah.
You know, like
There's
if I
power-
didn't have the music, I don't know. Maybe I would have killed myself. Like I
Oh,
was in a really
man.
bad way, and
Yes.
it's only recently that I'm able to talk about it because I had so much shame. Like, oh my god, I'm a terrible person for feeling this way, and I can't talk about my feelings to anyone. Like I remember trying to explain to my parents, but they just shut me down. Like it's not something that's fun to talk
maybe
about.
they wouldn't understand. Maybe they understood, but I don't know. But that's a really terrible.
It's really terrible, and I what's more terrible is that a lot of people feel like they can't talk about it, especially because like no one wants to hear
mental
about
issues. Nobody likes to talk about it. And even if you do explain to people that, oh, I have this problem, people are like, I don't understand. They cannot understand it.
Positive thinking. Just think. But it's more than just like, because you do that. You try so hard, especially with chronic depression. You try really hard. Okay, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning, and you have your affirmations, and today's gonna be a good day. But it's not that. It goes all the way back to your childhood. You have to deal with the root of what happened, and So, but like, I'm very passionate about music because I think it really saved my life, and it kept me from.
Yeah, there's power in music. That's to say, it heals, right?
Yeah. And I've met people with like mental health problems. A lot of them become alcoholics or drug addicts, or they have commit suicide.
Because that's the way they go in there. That's the way to kind of like suppress that feeling. The way of therapy. Some people choose alcohol. Some people choose drugs.
Yeah.
You happen to choose music, which is.
I took everything in my head and I put it onto paper and I would sing it. I have thousands of songs, but it's literally just all of that. And I just vomit it onto this thing with my music, and then it's done. And I'm like, okay.
How you feel so?
Yeah, it's like therapy.
Right?
It's like seeing a therapist,
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm very passionate about music, about art. If I meet an artist who has that, I'm like, do something. So that's why I organize these types of events.
Because when you're talking about art, because I'm an artist too. You saw my paintings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of go through a similar phase in life when there was a time when I was like, why am I in this living? Why am I here on this earth? What is my purpose here? Especially when everybody in my family were going through their own thing, and it was a time when I just poured my feelings and emotion on the canvas through colors. I use bright colors and combine them in a certain way that can be pleasurable to me when I see them.
Yeah.
And people say, wow, that's a nice art. That's a nice stuff you did. And you feel encouraged and you say, let me do some more, And the more you do it, the more you become more perfect in combining the colors, the more you can create some wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
So when I eventually came to Japan, I was like, damn, I gotta sell this stuff. Make some money out of this, And I started organizing little exhibitions and stuff. And people come. When you organize exhibition, just like doing an event, you meet people you never ever met.
Yeah.
People come in and say, you just pop in and say what's going on, and you just click. You have a little discussion, just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it's like this guy, or you know this person for a long time, and you just keep talking and exchange. That is power.
Yeah.
It encourages you so much, and so I really resonate with what you're saying. Music is something that can resonate with people, and people can actually feel it, understand it, and through your music, people can know the person behind the music, the singer behind the music. They can know you. They can know what's in your heart and everything. And somebody who's going through the same problem can be encouraged and influenced in a better way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the number one thing with a lot of any kind of mental health problems is you feel alone.
Yeah.
You really feel alone, and you have no one to
because
talk
you
to.
feel that nobody would understand you.
Yeah. But when you hear you listen to the radio and you hear a song and you're like, oh my God, someone else knows and understands.
Exactly.
It's healing. It's like a little teeny tiny Band-Aid. Or even art. A sculpture, it could be anything, it could be fashion, any kind of art, food even, like anything that someone created, there's passion that goes into it, and people eat the food and go, wow, this is fantastic. They can get some of that energy. Art is energy, and it's beautiful, creative energy, and it's positive energy. And I'm a super massive.
That's beautiful. So from 7 years old, you going through that dark period in your life, you were able to pour out your emotions onto paper, write songs. 7 years old, you started to write songs.
Yeah.
That's very inspirational, Yeah,
I don't know. I think children are fantastic, and
that
back
can inspire a lot of kids out there who are going through the same thing. Okay, let me just pour my heart. Because people, kids, they don't want to take their emotions out. They just keep it inside, you know?
The thing about children is that they're brand new people, so they don't understand. Like a baby cries, or like even toddlers who can speak already. Hi, mommy, I'm hungry. They don't understand the feeling of hunger. They're really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
know that it's hunger and that if you eat something, they'll feel better. So they start throwing a fit and crying, and then the mom's like, "Shut up! You know, you're being noisy."
Yeah.
The kid can't express himself,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like if they're having a bad day, they don't know how to do that. So it's very important for parents to be able to communicate with the child, on not just like a lot of parents are stuck, and myself included, stuck in their own head and their own problems and stuff, and the child's problems become jama. I don't know how to say jama in English.
Like
In the way of what they're doing.
Jama is like, being a little bit too troublesome or
Troublesome, yes,
Yeah.
they're troublesome.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times they get hushed, like,
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
complaining, stop doing this.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important for parents to sit down and go, okay, sweetie, what's wrong?
Mm.
And then the child's not going to know what to say because it's a brand new person. He's just
Yeah.
understanding the world. He's just
Yeah.
understanding his environment.
he or
He's
she might
just
not know
learning how to speak.
express it. Yeah.
So it's really important for the parents to try to understand and get the child, what's wrong? Tell me, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And just really try to help the child express himself.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's really lacking a lot. And I also made the same mistake with my daughter, and I'm learning as I go because I'm
Oh,
a
okay.
first-time parent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
challenge, but it's so important for parents and caregivers and anyone who's working with children to not get frustrated when a child acts out, because they're acting out for a reason.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
them trying to express.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm unhappy.
Yeah.
They might throw stuff and break stuff. They might act like a brat, and
just
it's
venting,
easy to
yeah,
go, oh, what a bad kid. Find out where that anger is coming from.
Yeah.
The kid,
Yeah.
all children are good.
Yeah, that's
They're all
true.
pure.
There
you
must
know?
be a source for the anger, right?
Yes,
A source for
exactly.
the thing is, nobody kind of like, a lot of people try to cure the result.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is bad. But nobody wants to get to the source of it.
Exactly.
Because sometimes, even the individual himself might know he has a problem.
yeah.
And he might be taking medication and da. But if somebody say, well, where does this anger come from? Can you trace this thing back to your childhood or some kind of or situation where they fear, they suddenly they're like, oh, I don't want to think about that.
Right.
If they think about it, it's a past, nothing, you can't do anything about it, blah, blah, blah. But actually revisiting that thing and knowing how to change, knowing how to understand it, and that can give you a hint of how to actually cure it
Yeah.
in the present, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just having that heart, that bravery to revisit that trauma, I would say, or
Right.
that time and
The point where it started.
Yeah, where it started, exactly. So so going through that 7 years old, and then during your your teenage years, you were still singing, right?
My teenage years.
Or you
God.
stopped singing for a while?
No, I actually started singing. Oh, you mean personally?
Yeah,
oh
personally,
no,
yeah.
that never stops.
Oh, you just keep going.
That just
right?
keeps going. Yeah, it's a very personal, private thing.
Okay.
And I only started like singing it to other people the last 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So you had all this music piling up, and you never tried to let me sing this. So you were writing this thing because when you're writing music, you need to have a melody in your mind, or you were just writing the lyrics.
I don't know how other musicians do it. Like,
Some
famous
musicians
people
have a
no
melody.
idea.
Yeah, some musicians have a melody, and then yeah man,
Yeah.
like in reggae music, it's like yeah man, yeah bam bam, all right, let me go on with this, yeah. And some people have no melody. The words just come in, and they kind of like write it down and find another line that rhyme the
rhyme.
Yeah, just make it, give it a little rhyme there, and you scratch a little bit, find a different wording for this. What's your take on that?
I never considered myself a musician or a singer or artist or anything like that. So I was just doing it because it made me feel better as a
Okay.
child, right? So I'm like, I would write a song. I'm like, damn, that feels good. I'm not sad
okay.
anymore. And that just continued.
Okay.
And I just kept doing that. I started doing music professionally after I moved to Osaka. It happened by accident because I was a fitness instructor before that. That was my career. and
A fitness
yeah,
instructor.
as a fitness. That's what I have a degree. I have a
Cheers to
degree in fitness.
Oh, what? For real?
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, I only started doing music professionally by accident.
Mm.
So
So tell me about this accident. What happened?
okay, so
Because you were superb music. For me, I don't know for other people. You sing really well. You play music, and
thank you.
yeah, you're always out there, and you're relaxed, and you reach out. You know, your words, your lyrics can reach out to people's mind and inspire them. And you're the perfect musician right now.
Thank
So
you.
how did that happen accidentally?
Okay, so as I said, I was a fitness instructor. I was living in Osaka and had a roommate at the time.
Okay.
And my roommate was taking vocal lessons.
Okay.
And we had planned to go see a movie together. And so he's like, shit, I forgot about my vocal lesson. Could we just go do that first? And this is before the days of smartphones. And so there's no way to
Yeah,
contact
yeah,
someone. So
yeah.
he was just, could you just come with me? And then that way I don't have to find where you are.
Yeah.
So reluctantly, I was like, okay, crap. Okay, I'm just going to go. So I went there and I'm like super bored.
So you went there reluctantly.
Yeah, I'm like, and no phone to look at. I'm just like looking at magazines.
Okay.
And he's doing the vocal thing. And then the teacher stopped the lesson and it was like, why don't we take a break? And he's like, oh, I guess he noticed I'm like, I want to go.
Yeah.
He's like, should we sing a song? I'm like, yeah, okay. Whatever can get me out of here.
Yeah.
If that
So
will
the
get me
teach-
out of
the,
here.
The teacher was Japanese?
No,
Okay.
he's, actually don't know where he's from.
Okay.
His name is Manny Mendez. Do you know him?
Oh, Manny Mendez.
Do you know
I know Manny
him?
Mendez. Yeah, he's a singer.
Yes,
I
yes,
used to
yes.
book him a long time back in the days. for
Really?
Wedding gigs. Yeah.
What a small
Yeah.
world. Oh my God, yes. He's the one that got me started.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Oh, he's
So
not
I-
in Japan though, right?
I have no idea.
I
I lost
haven't seen him
contact with
for a
him
while.
after I got
Manny
pregnant.
Mendez.
Yeah.
I remember, I would book him for gigs, and when, doing the rehearsal, I would say, put the mic up, put some more reverb on it.
Where is he from?
Manny is maybe Latino. I don't know, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. But
Manny was, I
anyways,
think,
yeah.
is a Latin American, I think.
Okay.
It's been a while. That's over like 18 years ago,
It was over 18 years ago.
right?
Yeah, I was like,
I know Manny about 18, 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, same time.
Yeah.
Wow, you've been in Japan that long.
Yeah, I'm 20,
Wow.
21.
Wow,
20,
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we sang a song together,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was it. I never thought about that day again.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I get a call from him, and he's like, "Hi, I got your number from your friend. I have a job for you." I
Okay.
thought it was a prank call, so I was like, "Ha ha, very funny," and I hung up. And he called me again, and I'm like, "What the hell?
Yeah.
Who are you?" And he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you came to the thing." Anyways, he had a wedding job for me, and I was like, I don't sing. And he was like, no, it's fine, and it pays this
okay.
much. As soon as I heard the money, I was like, okay, I'll do it.
But that time they paid good though.
They paid
Yeah.
very good.
That time to pay, yeah.
For a young 20-year-old, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll
So
do that. I don't care if I suck. I just take the money and run. So I
Okay. Mm-hmm.
did the one wedding, and then I met his agent, and then his agent gave me another job and another
Mm.
job, and next thing you know, I'm doing a lot of weddings and stuff, and I didn't really need to do the fitness anymore, and it was easier and funner.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay. So I quit fitness and I started singing.
Oh, okay. So that was.
I didn't think it would last this long, you know?
Yeah. You think it was
just-
a one-time thing?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I was so nervous. My first gig, my hand was shaking like this. I had to actually get my other hand, and I'm like, I'm never getting a job. Like, this is it for me. Like, my voice cracked in
Do you
4
remember
different
what
places.
song you were singing at the time?
I think it was A Whole New World.
Oh, New World.
Yeah.
A Whole New-
Yeah, the Disney tune.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so nervous. I was sweating. I'm like, I'm never doing this again. This is the worst idea
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
But then I got another job, and the pay was good. I couldn't say no to the money.
Yeah. The pay was good. I remember because I used to pay those guys, and they were still grumbling for more. They were still like, "Can I add some more in there?"
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
time.
For 10 minutes. You're getting paid for this. You still asking for more money. Come on, man.
Literally, we sang 1.5 songs. That was it.
Right? And then they would have a
Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those days were good, man.
Those days were
yeah,
good.
Those days
It's not
were
like
good.
that anymore.
No, not at all, man.
Not even.
Okay,
little.
so you had your first gig, and then when did you start having confidence in yourself that this is something for me? This is a path I want to go by.
Do you want me to be honest?
Mm-hmm.
I never had the confidence.
You never had the confidence?
No.
Yeah.
I literally just did it because it paid well.
Okay.
And then I had a contract I was living in Osaka at the time. Yeah, I didn't have any confidence. And so lovely. All the singers I worked with, the other musicians, piano players, I was always nervous, and I would tell everyone, I don't know what I'm doing. And they would be like, you're fine, just relax. And they would really build me up.
Yeah.
And I really, like, to this day, I really thank them so much for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was literally just doing it for the money, not for the love of the art.
Okay.
And then I had a contract in Sanomiya. I was living in Osaka. And I would sing for 20 minutes, and I would have a 45 1-hour break before my next set. So during my break, I would go to Ryan's. It's now called Harbor Tavern. I would go there and just have a beer and wait. And I saw this band playing. The front woman was this Canadian lady. Her name is Kim. And she was singing just rock songs and having a nice time, and nothing like I was doing. She wasn't, I did like jazz and Disney tunes, and she was doing like, I don't know, whatever she wanted, wearing whatever she wanted, and she was playing the guitar, and I'm like, oh my God, that looks like I want to do that. And that's when I first started I got introduced to, I guess, just another side of the music world that I didn't know existed. Yeah. And so that was the first time I thought about maybe playing a guitar professionally.
Oh, okay.
So I brought it to my agents, but my agents were like, nah, no one's going to buy that. We want
so
piano
what did they bring
players.
to your agents? Like, you want to sing or you want to play the guitar?
I wanted to play the guitar and sing. I wanted to do what she was doing.
So you brought the idea to them?
Yeah.
And they said no?
Yeah. They were like,
on what
no.
basis? Like,
Guitar is not popular,
oh yeah?
I guess, at the hotels or whatever. So I put that on the back burner. And then many years later, I met a guitarist, Paul, and he played. So we would go and practice together. And he was like, here, let you listen to one of my songs. And I'm like, you wrote that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I write songs too. He's like, let me hear it. So I played it for him. He's like, let's record that. So we recorded it. Yeah, and that was the first time I was so nervous. Oh my God.
Again. Really?
If you ask him, he'd be like, yeah.
But it's your song. It's your song. It's your melody.
Like, he's not going to like it. I'm like, you're not going to like it. It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, God.
So how did it go? After you actually recorded it, you mastered it and everything?
Yeah, we recorded it.
Oh, yeah? You should
You
have
can hear
What's the title of the song?
the fear in my voice. Like, I never wanted to release the CD because I'm like,
come on, nobody's.
It's on SoundCloud if you want to hear it.
You're thinking too much like a perfectionist.
I know.
Nobody's ever gonna know that your voice is this way or
I
that
know
way.
that now.
Right?
I know that now. But it took a long time for me to go, you know what? Screw it. Like,
Yeah.
I love what I do. I
Yeah.
love it, and I don't care. And I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah,
It took
yeah.
years to get to that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now I'm like, really, and I want to
Yeah.
give other people a chance because
yeah.
Manny Mendez gave me a chance. Opened my world.
Manny Mendez, yeah.
So I'm really, really.
Yeah. Go out there and inspire.
Yeah, when I hear someone else wanting to do that, I'm like, you can totally.
You can
I'm
do
not
it,
good enough.
yeah.
I'm like, no one's ever good enough.
Yeah.
You'll never be good
Yeah,
enough. You
yeah.
just have to
exactly,
do it.
Exactly. You went through that.
Yeah.
And but that took you a long time to be able to realize
Long
that, right?
time.
Yeah. I think it's the Japanese side of you. The Japanese side are really, perfectionist, straight, and everything's gonna be the dot's gonna be, the T's gonna cross, and everything's gonna be perfect before the move. That's a
Yeah.
Japanese thing, Yeah.
Might be my Japanese
It's
side.
a Japanese side. It's definitely a Japanese side. I have Japanese friends who are like that. Everything, they want everything to be perfect before we move. I say, screw that. We're moving forward. If we fail, we learn through our mistakes and we do better things.
Exactly.
You
don't. If you living your whole life to please other people, you'll never be happy because
you'll
no
never
one's
be
ever
happy.
going to be happy.
Exactly.
There's always going to be someone who's going to complain. Always.
Yeah.
You just have to do what you do. Do you know, there's one guy that I met. I was at a wine bar in Nishinomiya called Cheers. And this guy used to come to my lives all the time when he was a traveling businessman. And he came to several of my lives and he'd always say, that was great. But everyone says that, oh, you sounded great, man, whatever. It's just something you have to say to musicians.
Yeah.
So one day he came up to me in one of my lives and he's like, again, like I always say, really great, but can I give you one piece of
Advice or something?
advice? And I'm like, oh my God, finally.
Yeah.
Because all you hear is people going, that was great. And you know it's like, whatever. He's like, I think your performance would change if you told the story rather than just sing it. Tell the story. That I will never forget.
That's deep,
that,
huh?
Yeah. His
That's
name is
really
Kevin
deep.
Ned. And I really, like, to this day,
Yeah.
I heart Kevin Ned for saying that to me.
Yeah.
He didn't have to.
Maybe,
He could have been like,
he might be able to, watch us.
if you're watching that, thank you. Really,
Tender
really,
says thank you.
that bit of advice, like, blew my mind
yeah.
and just changed everything about how I performed. And
Yeah. That's an advice that you can be able to explain even right now, to people out there.
Yeah.
Because you would have a lot of musicians who are singing and that actually, as you say, they're singing but they're not telling a story, right?
there's, when you're watching an artist, you could watch an artist that's perfect.
Yeah.
Pitch-wise, perfect.
Yeah.
Style is perfect. This, what they're wearing, and they
Yeah,
look
everything
great.
is- yeah.
But it doesn't. You don't.
feel it.
Nah. It's just sound.
What's
Or
the
you
cause
could
of that?
you could hear someone who's a little pitchy.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't dress that well. But you're like, oh my God, this song made me cry.
Yeah.
What do they have that this other
Yeah.
perfect person
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have? They have soul. They're
Soul.
telling the
Exactly.
story.
It's that soul. It's
Yeah.
the soul, baby. It's the soul.
And it
It's the
doesn't
soul.
matter what genre. It doesn't matter. There's no perfect.
You gotta feel it, right?
Yeah. If you tell the story and it's coming from a place, that's art.
Yeah.
There's a difference between McDonald's hamburger
Yeah.
and then some chef that this hamburger, like, it's got my blood, sweat, and tears, and they're like, I worked.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love
that's
this
it.
hamburger. There's a difference, and
There's
you
a
can
difference,
taste
yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
But
same
a lot
with
of people can resonate with if they wrote the song.
Yeah.
If they're the ones who wrote the song, and the song means something to them, maybe a past experience or something, they have automatically they connect with their soul when they're singing with
Right.
that song. But if they receive the song from somebody else or somebody wrote the songs for them, and they don't actually like the song, or maybe they cannot actually experience what the lyrics is all about, they're just gonna, because the melody is nice, the beat is nice, they're just gonna just sing the song.
you can, or because when I met Kevin Ned, he used to come to my lives. I only did covers.
Oh, okay.
I took his advice to covers.
Okay.
The regular covers that I sing a million times, I turned it around and made it my song. I changed it completely around,
yeah.
and I
So-
stopped trying to sing like the artist. I stopped trying to.
Well, that's the point.
And I was
That's the
like,
point.
this is going to be my song now.
Yeah. So
And
long
it
as you
made
can
a
sing
huge
it.
difference. Yeah.
I remember one time, I don't know who was saying that we had a discussion about some musicians about music, and of course breathing is important.
Yes.
When you're singing, the breathing, but there's another second depth with breathing. When you breathe life into the song, it's not controlling your breathing during the song.
Yeah.
But breathing life into that, whether it's a cover or it's an original, if it's a cover, you breathe your life into that song and make it your own.
Yeah. That's the difference.
Exactly, that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
There's the two things that when I had that, I was like, damn, this is deep, and
It's
that,
deep. Blew my mind.
Yeah.
Kevin Ned,
yeah, that's exactly what
my
you're talking
musical
about.
papa.
Exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so you start singing. It took you so long to actually you went on stage and you started singing, right? And you figured a way how to
Oh, to play my guitar
your
and
guitar
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah, actually, that was kind of forced on me. So I was
It was forced on you?
forced.
Oh yeah.
Well, not forced, but I was
You had to
working
do it.
for hotels and whatnot. But I got pregnant. I had a baby. It was
Okay.
hard for me to get babysitting. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of these contract gigs that I would have, like you can't, suddenly if your baby gets sick, you can't call and say I can't come in. Anyways, I got fired from a few contracts because of that. I couldn't
Mm-hmm. Oh,
get
okay.
babysit. Long story and lots of drama, lots of depressed moments.
Yeah.
And so that's when I met Paul, and he started doing pubs and cafes and just more low key stuff. Of course, it didn't pay as well, but I could continue singing and doing what I loved, and so that's when I started playing my guitar. Actually,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
he actually encouraged me to play. He's like, "You can play it. It's fine."
So how did you learn the guitar? Because I've been trying to learn that thing for like 2 years. I haven't moved not even one step. It's just he's just sitting there, you know. I tried it one time. I was like, damn, this thing is gonna take some time. Okay, so I just put it down there.
It does
So
take time.
how did you learn the guitar?
I will not say that I'm a guitarist.
Okay.
I'm not a musician. I learned a few chords, and my guitar accompanies my voice. So that's
Okay.
I can't do any fancy
So you-
licks.
you do all
I
of the
don't
basic
even
stuff.
know the names of some of the chords I play.
Yeah? Yeah.
When I like write a song, I'll ask my
Or what chord it should
a
it be?
guitarist like, "What's this?" They're like, "Oh, send me the chords." I'm like, "I don't know what it is. I'll take a picture," and they'll be like, "Oh, that's blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay."
Okay. Well,
I'll just mess with my fingers like.
Yeah. Well, you're really doing it really good. Because nobody
you.
out there actually know what you know that.
I wish I did. I think I could write much better songs. I would like to collaborate with someone who can play guitar or a piano or something.
Okay.
I would like to do that if anyone's
Yeah.
listening and wants to collaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
If
fantastic.
somebody's listening out there, Tender wants
Yeah.
to collaborate, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. She's a very talented musician. Check it out. So, okay. I remember you were just telling me like, you know, you got fired in your job
Yeah.
twice, I think you
Yeah.
said, because you were raising your daughter.
Yeah.
So you got married before that? Oh.
Yeah. I was, long story, but yeah, I was forced to get married actually.
You
My
were
ex-husband.
fu-
Yeah. Yeah, he was
Your
a.
ex-husband forced you to get married?
No, actually, the police forced me to marry him because,
Who
the
forced you-
police.
The,
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
this is
My
amazing
life is
stuff.
a comedy. It's fucking comedy.
The police?
The police forced me to
you
get married. Well, if I didn't marry him, he would get deported. He got in trouble for a lot of bad stuff. So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So we were married because of that. But anyways, long story.
Now I got it. It's a visa thing, right?
We were together. We were
So
together,
he did
but
some
not
bad
married.
stuff,
We
and they
had a
wanted to
baby.
kick him out.
They wanted to kick him out. We had to get married. He stayed. So I was
Okay.
pretty much raising the baby by myself.
Oh man.
It's really hard to be a single mom and a working musician. I think if
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
a 9
that's
to 5
hard,
job,
yo.
it would be easier.
Being
but,
a
yeah.
woman with a kid and you gotta that's pretty hard.
I remember I was bawling my eyes out once. My agent in Tokyo, I told him, I'm so sorry, I just had a baby and blah, blah, blah. I was crying. And he was like, no, we can't have people like you working for
Yeah,
us. And
I
I was
know
like,
Japanese
I'm really
companies-
sorry, please give me one more chance.
That's
And he's like,
typical
no.
of Japanese company.
He was actually an American.
Oh really? Maybe he's been staying in Japan for too long. Right?
Or it's just the business. Like
It's a business thing. It's a business
cutthroat
thing.
business, and it's not fun.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I don't know what
it's
to say.
work. It's just work.
Yeah, yeah.
People are like, "Ooh, you're a singer." No, it's just work. The same
Yeah.
thing that everyone else does. You do it and you get paid, and you're scared of your boss. Like, that's why I love like just the little cafes and singing to
yeah.
real people
Yeah,
and
yeah.
none of this like
Yeah, you meet real people there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Because I remember the very first time I saw you, I met you at the Irish pub, Blanistone.
Really?
Yeah, that's. I think that's where I met you. That was like 6-7 years ago
Blarney Stone and Shinsaibashi?
in Sinsabashi. Yeah, I went there. I think I was pissed off with something. I just said, let me just go grab a drink, and I went there, and you were singing. Yes, you were singing. I sat down on the counter. I was just, sipping my beer, and you got that thing down so well. It's like, damn, man, this girl can sing, and
Oh my
you
God.
were so relaxed. You were so relaxed, and I like your guitar had some nice design on it.
It's got a heart.
Yeah, something.
My brother gave that to me for my birthday.
right.
Yeah.
It's a very like an originally designed guitar. I can see
Yeah.
it there. And you were working that thing, and you're doing some country songs, and you do some ballads, you do some R&B. I was like, you were versatile,
Yeah.
So after you finished, I was still on the counter. You finished your gig, and you came to get a drink, I think, and you were close by.
I
You remember that?
Yes.
And he came by, and I said, "Hi, how you doing? I really enjoy your show,"
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. And at that time, I just started Black and Radio.
Oh, okay.
I just started this radio station. It's about maybe 1 or 2 years old at that time. And I say, oh, I have a radio station, and if you have some time, come by, or some stuff like that. I don't know. I couldn't remember what I said.
Right.
And you say, okay, let me give you my card. Or you say you didn't have a card, so you write your name down.
Yeah, I didn't have a card at that
Yeah,
time.
I remember. You actually wrote your name. When you write your name, I saw Tender. My name is
Tender
Tender. And I asked, is it your real name? I said, Tender?
Everyone says that.
Yeah. And you give me, oh, it's not my real name, it's just a stage name, blah blah blah. I said, yeah, nice meeting you. Let's stay in touch.
Oh my God, that's how I met you.
Yeah, in Blanestone. Is it Blanestone, right?
Yeah.
it's
There's
Blanestone.
2 Blarneys.
The one in St. Sebastian.
Yeah, that's the where I met you. I remember
that's
that.
where I met you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And you had some couple of friends around, so we chat for a while. And during that 5 minutes conversation we had, I can feel you. You were so friendly and open-minded, and you were so natural. You can tell when you talk. Just 2-3 minutes, you can tell like, oh, this guy, man, or this person, man, we're not in the same vibration, you know.
Yeah.
You know. But when I spoke with you, it's like, if you didn't have your friends in there, maybe we would have just sit there and I would buy you a drink and we just talk all night. That was how natural we were conversing, you know, at that time. And it was really good. I remember that day very well.
Oh my
You know?
gosh, I
Yeah.
totally
And you
forgot.
forgot. You do remember, right?
I remember now, yeah.
Yeah. It was
And
really
then
nice.
I contacted you about the International Women's Day.
Yes. Couple of years
Yeah, I was
later,
like,
I think
I
one of
met this guy. I'm gonna see if he's interested.
Yeah, you contacted me with the, and you sent me some information about what you're doing, the International Women's Right or Women's Day.
Yeah.
You want to do a show in Black and Radio? If you can, I say, yeah, of course. You know.
I
And-
really appreciated that because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if he's gonna say yes.
No,
Ask
no.
him anyway.
Because I remember that day we met. That was like when I received that thing. It was like 2 or 3 years I met you, and we haven't met from
Yeah.
there. I still remember that little conversation we had, and you were such a nice person. I was like, yeah, you know, and the topic we were going to talk about was International Women's Day. You know, celebrating women's rights and women's, you know, blah blah. And I say, yes, this is what we need in Japan because there's nothing about like that in Japan.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me about this international, how it all started out, and what's your goal in that?
Okay, it all started out with there was a pot of flowers on my windowsill, purple flowers, and I was like, oh, where did these come from? And
Yeah.
I was living with my sister-in-law at the time, and she's like, oh, that's someone bought that for me from International Women's Day. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what's that? So she told me,
Oh, okay.
and I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you don't. She was surprised I didn't know, and I was surprised I didn't know. So I went online and I looked, and yeah, it's a huge thing, celebrated
Yeah.
all over the world.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Japan doesn't do it. So I was like, I should bring this here. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
growing up as a half Japanese person and being a girl and being in the music industry, oh my God, the stuff you have to deal with. You know, like I remember one time, I'm not going to tell a bunch of stories, but this is just one example. One time I went in, we were doing, it was for a pachinko. I had to like sing some song for some pachinko.
Yeah,
So I went
yeah.
in with a guy. And I was the one getting the job, not the guy. But they talked to him the whole time. No one looked at me. They gave him the name cards, and he handed me the name cards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hi, it's actually me, and he has nothing to do with it."
Yeah.
But nothing, and that
Yeah.
really does like a little tiny bit of inside of you are like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
not worth like.
No,
You know, it makes you
that's
feel like a
Japanese thing,
tool,
actually, yeah.
and it's just stuff like that. And I'm sure like all the ladies, you know,
Yeah,
in Japan feel just it's those little tiny things that they say, or you know, a lot of women get
No,
judged by
yeah. Especially Japanese are very typical of that, you know. And me too. I have that same kind of in a different way, you know. Maybe they wouldn't be expecting a foreigner to be in Japan, having his own company, having a little radio station.
Yeah.
So I would go there with my staff, a Japanese lady, and we would give her a card, and they would start talking to her. I'll say, and they would even ask her, "Oh, he's your staff?" And she would say, "No, he's my boss." You know,
Yeah,
it happens
yeah,
like that. And they would say, "Oh, so this car," you know, it's like they have this one-sided, you know, square way of thinking.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
just presumptuous. I don't know. I don't understand some of them. And they just believe, he wouldn't be able to do this or that.
Yeah.
So it's the same, you know. I've had that thing again and again. Even people would contact like Black and Studio
Yeah.
for I want my CD to be played here. Can you hear my? They would rather contact a Japanese staff.
Yeah.
Well, they know I'm the owner. Come to me directly, but
And you speak Japanese.
and I speak Japanese, but they would rather say, "Well, I don't think he's the owner. Maybe he's working there." You know?
Yeah.
It's seriously, and I was like, it happens. It's just a kind of misconception, and
Yeah.
just
Like I'm doing International Women's Day. and the subject is women. But the more research I do, like especially when I was doing research for that discussion panel, I realized that equality isn't just, it's foreigners in other countries. It's like racism. It's even amongst men, like the tough guy gets, the girl, the little tiny guy doesn't get. It's just equality is on such a huge spectrum. And so my goal actually is to, bring International Women's Day to the consciousness of Japan. But also, I don't want it to be like women are, because a lot of people misconstrue, when you're like a feminist, like, oh, girls hate guys now. Like feminists don't like men. And not
Don't
true.
worry about these
what
guys
I mean?
who think that way.
There's a lot of them. A lot of them.
No, they're just
man hater,
trying
blah,
to
blah,
be
blah.
stupid willfully. They know what's going on. They know that you're trying to bring some equality into the thing, but you just don't want it to happen. That's why they're pretending to be stupid. But anyway.
But so it is on a huge spectrum. So I want to bring awareness to that, but I also want to bring awareness to the subject of equality. It's everyone. We're all people. Underneath all of this, we're all just people that want to be heard and that want to be accepted and loved. And at the end of the day, that's all it is. And so
I love that concept. Trying to bring that to the forefront. And letting people know about it. Some people have it in their head, but they've never sit down and think about it.
Right.
Because when you actually think about something, you ponder about it, that's how you actually know the meaning, the in-depth meaning, and the meaning behind the movement. So why did she come here and say something like this, or do a speech about that?
Right.
You start really going to it in more depth.
Right.
And that's how you really understand the movement.
Yes.
But some people will just, stay on the sideline and just see it just like a moving image. They never actually have feelings to it. But you doing something like this actually brings awareness to it and make people think about it.
Yes.
So just keep doing what you do. I really supported it from the very first day. And we have some flyers here, right? Or not that one. This one, right? This was the one you did last year. The one on the left,
that
right?
one's last year,
Yeah, the one on the left. You did it in Isn't.
It was just in Kobe.
Isn't. What about Slices? I saw Slices. That's the pizza.
Yes.
The pizza joint,
Slices,
right? That's in Sinsabasho, right?
Yeah. They also did it.
Yeah, and then you have the castle.
Yep. How I did it is I really just want everyone to do it on their own. I don't need to be organizing it every year. I wanted to start a movement, and I'm hoping everyone, because I don't make money off doing this. It's more of just an awareness thing, So if all the bars and even English schools and whatever businesses just go, oh, today, March 8th is International Women's Day, and just, purple flowers for the girls or whatever they want to do, and just kind of bring awareness to the fact that
that's
my goal. I don't want to keep doing these events. They're so hard.
Yes,
If everyone does their own little tiny ones all over Japan,
it can
soon everyone, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, because that's a lot of work to organize that. But if you want to take it to another level, it's like you have a website and you can have a membership thing going on, and members who can come in can do you can kind of not categorize them, but actually, okay, well, if you're good at organizing an event, you can do this. If you're good at maintaining a website, you can help with this. Just get a hub where you can be able to get members in.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
they actually have that. The United Nations has that.
You can start a website, because they're online. You can start a website for a couple of bucks, $200 to about $200.
Yeah.
Or even less than that. You can have a real website going on, and with membership forms and stuff like that. All you have to do is just, when you have maybe 20 or 30 more new members, you can just do, okay, let's have a little get together in so cafe. Let's everybody get together, meet each other, get your meshi, your name card ready, your business card ready, and dish it out.
Good idea.
Yeah, and then when they meet you, I'm sure if 10 people met you, 9 of them would say, yeah, I want to work with this lady.
Yeah.
Because you have a good personality. Only one would say, I don't know, but you don't have to care about that. but get the people who are positive and willing to help, and just tell them, well, this is what I want. If you can be able to help with this website, finding new members and organizing events. People will you would be surprised how people will like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to meet more people. I want to help with this movement. Yeah, just get a website.
If anyone's listening,
Yes.
contact me, please.
Yes, on website.
I can't do it by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, they can contact you on Facebook because we
Yeah.
are streaming live on Facebook. The name on Facebook is
Jane Armstrong or Tender Armstrong. I got two.
Jane Armstrong or Tender Armstrong. So yeah, just send some message to Tender and tell her you're interested in the women's movement.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you're doing a wonderful thing, man.
Thank you.
And okay, lastly, I want to talk about. I remember you said before we did the show, I think was it 2 weeks ago, we were talking about living in Japan as a married woman. And you've been through a lot of. You just mentioned just briefly that your husband had some problems, blah blah blah, and you got married. And you said about men being not what do you say was it? Is it
Narcissism.
narcissism? Yeah, the
Narcissism.
problem about narcissism in men. What was that all about?
Okay, so narcissism is a widely used word, and the term comes from Greek mythology, where a narcissist stared at his own reflection. He thought he was so pretty, and then he died because he just stared at himself. So nowadays people use the word narcissism for some, people who take selfies and people who think they're super hot.
That's generally
and there's nothing wrong with that. If you have some self-love, that's good. Everyone should have some self-love.
Yeah.
But narcissist personality disorder is a mental disorder, and there are 9 traits. So if you fill out all, so I don't know. I think the average person might have 3 or 4 narcissistic traits. But when you hit all 9 traits, that's when you become a little psychopathic.
Oh,
And it's very, very dangerous, and it's really hard to spot a narcissist, someone with narcissist personality disorder, because and it's not just men. There are narcissistic women as well with NPD, and these traits are not.
So basically, it's a
physical-
mental disorder, right?
It's a mental disorder,
Yeah.
and it stems from having extremely low self-esteem.
Okay.
So they have to, you joke about the guy with the big fancy car, oh, he must have a small dick or whatever, they say,
Yeah.
So it's kind of the similar,
similar,
kind
right?
of similar.
Yeah.
They have such low self-esteem, but instead of buying a giant car or whatever, or bragging about how much money they make or whatever, instead of doing that, they will put someone down and make them feel super small and build
So that
themselves up.
you have a lot of people like that. Yes.
They're constantly talk about how great they are, and you don't even know if half of it's true or not, because a lot of them do have they just compulsive lying and just to, not all of them, but some of them are compulsive liars. And the reason why I'm very I will always post some article about narcissistic personality disorder, because if I had known about some of the traits, I could have protected myself, but I had no idea.
So you never knew that he had these traits?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Okay.
He would do these outrageous things, and I'm like, there's no human on the planet that's this bad. He's having a bad day, and I would excuse it.
Oh, okay.
And then something else would happen, and then I would catch him doing something awful, and he would lie and talk me out of it, and I would feel, and then eventually it became my fault somehow, and I'm like, oh my God. So I started apologizing they get into your head, they make you think you're crazy. It takes years to recover from. Some people are too afraid to escape. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
And
you say they get into your head.
They get inside your head.
Psychologically,
Yes.
and the way they talk to you.
Yes. That's the dangerous part. It could be your boss. It could be your parents. It could be a sibling. It could be your best friend, a lover, a boyfriend. And it's very, very dangerous, because once you're in,
it's hard to get out.
It's very hard to get out, and sometimes it's dangerous to get out.
Because they want to hold you there.
Yeah.
Because that's what they feed from.
Yes.
Putting you down.
Yeah.
So they want to get you there
Yeah.
and just sticking in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the ones that are crazy MPDs, they will pick one victim, and once they have you, they don't want to let you go.
Wow.
And it's a really disgusting, vicious cycle that goes to the point where the victim is just destroyed, is not even a person anymore, and they're just lost their mind. Yeah. It's really, really sad. They can destroy lives. You know what I mean? So I'm very.
So how are you able to like get yourself out of that kind of situation? You went to therapy or somebody advised you or you get some help? Or?
Oh my God, it was so. So, anyways, I knew something was weird from. Everyone knows when you meet someone, there are red flags, right? There's red flags everywhere, and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this person.
Telling me.
Yeah. So usually someone will see a red flag and be like,
there's a whole bunch. Yeah. You gotta learn how to see those red flags, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the reason why victims of people with MPD get trapped is because the narcissist often is very charming, very smart. They will portray characteristic traits that are not characteristic of a narcissist. They will pretend to be good listeners. They'll pretend to be empathetic. They'll pretend to be charitable and kind and all these things, and they trap you because they usually pick those kinds of people who are very kind and soft-hearted, vulnerable, and then they'll portray the same traits. They'll often mirror what you like. Oh, you like that? Oh, I do too. They'll do this. They'll get you. It's so dangerous. Once they have you, they'll do one little tiny thing to dismiss you. And then you'll be like, what? And like, oh no, I was just joking. I didn't mean that. And then you're like, oh, okay, that was weird. And they keep doing that over and over until you're like, wait a second. No, but you did do that. And then they'll be like, I can't believe you would say that. I did this and this and this and this for you. I can't believe you would say I'm that kind of person. Who do you think I am? Oh my God. You're so judgmental. I don't know if I can be with you. Then the victim is like, oh my God, I'm horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, right?
So they kind of turn it against you then.
And it goes from small to big to big to big to big until the victim is like, I'm sorry. I don't even know. Did I say
crazy,
that? I'm sorry. I don't know. I said. Then they will lie and they'll gaslight you. That's very dangerous when they gaslight you because they'll do something. You'll see it. They'll say, I never did that. Remember the time that you thought I did this and this and I didn't do it? See, you're just making shit up now. So then the victim becomes crazy. They start questioning their own reality.
So they would lie and they would even believe their own lie. So that makes you even more crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and you tell other people, but
talking about compulsive liar, right? Pathological liars, right? Wow.
Super dangerous.
Wow.
And had I known about these types of people, I would have pulled out ages ago. But I didn't.
But you would never know because they're so sweet-coated outside at the beginning, right?
And they're sweet to everyone. That's the dangerous thing. When you meet a narcissist, you have no idea. They're beautiful, fantastic people. They'll pick one victim, and that's the victim that they'll torture. And no one else will see it. So that's why, and you know that somehow. So you can't tell anyone. You try to talk to your best friend. They're like, "Oh my God, if he's that horrible, why don't you just leave?" That's a common thing that people say. That's a lot of things.
Usually
I would tell
say,
people about shit that would happen to me, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, that's terrible. Why don't you leave? You should leave. Get away from him." But what happens is it's not. Because oftentimes the victim will defend the narcissist, will get so much inside the victim's head that the victim will go, but you don't understand. I'm the only one that understands him. He just needs a little more time, a little more support. Then you can change. I can change him. I know I can change him, blah, blah, blah. And they're always defending the narcissist. This is why it's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. But you were able to
Took me years.
Yeah.
Years of just
So what
torture.
What was the first step you took? Like moving, creating a distance between you and him, or?
Okay, I'll be really honest with you. Circumstance.
Because that might be a clue, some advice to some people who might be going through the same thing out there.
My story isn't a courageous story at all. Circumstance distanced us. So, I there were a string of incidences. I'm not going to talk about it, but a string of incidences that forced me, for my daughter's safety, to leave. So I left, and I moved to Suma, where I'm living now. And I got him, and I had to get him an apartment somewhere else. So I got him an apartment somewhere else. But I was still in contact, and he was still in my head, and it was just, it would never end. But circumstance happened when he got deported out of the country.
Oh, okay.
And if it wasn't for that, really, I think I would still be in it.
He got into trouble again.
He was in many troubles.
Troublemaker, right?
But he got deported. And I think that really saved, that's what saved me. So I didn't do anything on my own. I don't know.
Well, that distance actually helped, you know.
It helped.
And secondly, I think, you know, when you said that, get it into your head, it's something like planting a seed in your subconscious mind.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They plant something in your subconscious mind that you cannot take out. So every time you hear that word, that is just the voice of him.
Yeah.
Triggers something in you.
Yes. So this is the point I want to make, and it's so important. And I know that people who are in a narcissistic relationship won't do this, because
Yeah.
I didn't do this for years. Even after he was deported, I was still in contact with him. But you have to cut contact 100%.
Yeah.
Once you start, because
Then
the
you start to
victim
heal,
wants
actually.
to explain themselves. They're like, oh, you asshole, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, but let me explain. You want them to understand
Yeah.
that you're not mad at them, that you don't hate them. Just these things aren't right. You know, you want them so badly, but you can't explain that kind of stuff to them.
Yeah.
They're not listening to it.
Yeah.
So you're just going to make yourself crazy.
It's only
doing
about
that.
them. It's only
Exactly.
about them. They just want to capture you, you know, drag you closer, and then get you into that same spot.
They'll say sorry, but
Yeah.
they won't mean it.
Yeah.
They'll
yeah.
do nice things, but then once they have you back, it starts again.
It
It's a
starts again.
cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle,
You know.
yeah.
So the only way to start healing is to cut contact, and that's what I did. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
completely. I was like, this is endless. I keep because he was overseas. I keep texting him and try to make him understand.
They
you
would
know,
never understand.
No, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, what am I doing? Wasting
Yeah,
my
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So I just stopped answering his text messages,
Yeah.
and now it's okay.
Yeah, because
Finally.
once you've done that, your mind starts to heal,
It's so hard.
and you start getting your focus in life again, you know, and you start thinking clearly and brighter. It's true. These guys are like they're good at, you know, human psychology.
And it's not just men. There are narcissistic
Yeah, women too.
who
Exactly.
mess up the
Talking
guy's
about
lives.
that, man,
Yes.
I've gone through that shit before.
Yes.
Yeah? Well, mine wasn't so bad. You know, the thing is, just create a distance.
That's it.
That's just create a distance and take all photos and,
Exactly.
you know, letters and, you know, even just delete everything as if
Yes, delete
they have
everything.
never existed
Yes.
in your life. Like I said, it's a bad nightmare
Yes.
you had. Just, you know, delete everything.
Yes.
And then your mind even knows that you're serious now to heal.
Yes.
And it starts to heal.
Yeah.
But once you leave, oh, this was a marriage something. Oh, well, once you say that, it's going to creep in somewhere, somehow.
Yes.
And once he said hello to you, that voice just
Yes.
triggers something in a man. You know, it might be sympathy, it might be anger, it just triggers something. It might be fear to respond, and then you got caught in the same bullshit,
Exactly.
right?
Deleting is the 100%
Yeah, it's the
only
100%
thing you can do.
Exactly.
But for a victim, that is the hardest thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people will take it slow. They'll maybe delete the Facebook, but they'll keep email. Or they might delete
yeah.
a phone number, but they'll keep something. So if you do that, that's fine. Like you have to get away. But if you're gonna take it slow, then take it slow. Like a lot of people can't cut off just because it takes time.
Instantly, yeah.
If you can, fantastic, and you're a fantastic human being.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. It took me a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's life, man. But you know, I'm happy you out.
Yes, I'm out, and I had no idea this was a thing. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always. I know it's not a nice post. It's much nicer to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
lovelier posts, but I will post constantly just in case someone sees it and goes, "Wait a second, I'm in that."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it might
even,
help one
even
person.
somebody listening to the show might
Yeah.
say, "Yeah, I'm going through that." Oh, I know somebody who's
Yeah.
going through this stuff. You know, and give them
One
some
other
advice.
thing, yes, very important for if you do know someone
Mm-hmm.
who is in that situation, trying to pull them out is almost impossible because they're not. Number one, they might not want to leave. Number two, it might draw them closer to the abuser. You know,
okay.
and
And they might even tell the abuser, and
Yes.
you have a problem with the abuser.
yes, well, if that happens, the
can,
abuser is gonna. One thing narcissists do is that they keep you away from your friends and family or anyone who's
yeah,
close to
yeah,
you. They'll
yeah.
keep you away from them. They'll move you to another city or tell you bad things about
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
They're always going to try to do that.
so that you don't have good advisors from
Yeah.
them, right?
So the best thing to do if you know someone, you know, who's a victim of abuse is just be there. Make sure that they know you're there for them when they need you.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And don't try to, you know, like give them advice and tell them, just get out, if you really don't, and then block, a lot of people did that to me.
But it's not so easy, right?
No, it's not that easy, and it's dangerous in some situations.
Yeah,
It can be
yeah.
life-threatening if the narcissist is violent.
Yeah,
it can
yeah.
actually threaten your
And-
life. So
And 7 out of 10 cases, they're violent.
yeah,
They're
so
psychopaths,
yeah, they have no feeling. They have no empathy.
They have there's no empathy there. There's no conscience, and they're just thinking about themselves, about their own pleasure, about
Right.
what they need, just. Anyway, that was a good piece. Yeah. So guys, we're way over time though.
Uh-oh.
But that was a good discussion, So guys, thanks for listening, and thanks for coming over.
Thank you for having
I
me.
really appreciate that. It was a very good, conversation, and I'll be seeing you guys next month for another JP Vibes. I'm your
JP
host,
Vibes.
JP Vibes. So thank you, and I was your host. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.